Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here. Don't forget to subscribe. And today we are talking about scrolling. Because if you didn't know, scrolling through your phone collectively has cost the world $9 trillion in US currency. Now, here's what's going on. Researchers at Toll Free Forwarding just put out a report, and it's kind of insane. So check out these stats. New Yorkers, on average, and because this is coming from the New York Post, so of course we're going to talk about New Yorkers, have an average daily screen time of 6 hours and 12 minutes, which means they annually scroll, each person annually scrolls 81.14 miles on their phone. And we'll talk about that calculation, but that's absolutely nuts. Americans have to have some seriously strong thumbs as a result of this. So, experts warn that by virtue of that amount of screen time, our high scrolling habits lead to low productivity, which they calculate cost the global economy an estimated $8.8 trillion each year. Round that up, it's nine. That's absolutely an insane amount of money. And for the record, the state of New York is actually below average. The average American spends more time than that, 6 hours and 35 minutes a day, which adds up to over 2,400 hours annually. So people check their devices an average, according to the report, of 58 times a day, with over half of those interruptions happening during work hours. So obviously, loss of productivity equals $8.8 trillion. Now, half of those checks happen within just 3 minutes of the last, which creates that nonstop loop of distraction. So you check your phone, you might answer an email, you go back and you check your phone, et cetera, et cetera. Constant task switching can slash productivity as much as 40%. So they created a formula to determine just how far we junkies are scrolling across the country. So to calculate the lengths, they converted the average screen time in every state into seconds and then multiplied each figure by 6.3. That is, for the record, the length of an iPhone 16 Pro, which is the average most popular phone out, and they did it over 10. Basically, that's the frequency of a scroll in seconds, which resulted in the distance that basically somebody traveled in inches per day. That resulting figure was then divided by 12 to get the instances in feet per day, and then divided by 5280 to get miles, right? 5,280 feet is 1 mile. And then obviously you just multiply that by 365, and now you know basically how much you're scrolling every year. So let's look at the top 3 states, because I thought this was actually interesting. The worst offender, meaning those that are checking their phones the most, is the state of Arizona. They top the list with the highest average daily screen time in the country, with 8 hours and 50 minutes every day. That's almost 9 hours that Arizonans are spending on essentially their phones. They basically scroll an estimated 115.37 miles annually on their phones. That is absolutely nuts. So Arizona, you're probably going to win in thumb wars. Now, second place, interestingly enough, is Washington State at 108.18 miles of scrolling every year. And Kentucky rounds out the top 3 with 105.18 in basically every year as well. The top 4 through 10, so number 4, Missouri, followed by New Mexico, then Texas, Maryland, Louisiana, South Carolina, and Georgia. So obviously, this is actually, I think, just really interesting stats. I think, if anything, it just really underscores and shows just how much we're using our phones and just how much we should be disconnected from them. We really should be limiting our screen time, not to mention the physical effects of this. If you're constantly hunched over, it can't be good for your muscles, your structure, all these kinds of things. So, you know what? My advice to you is turn off the phone every once in a while. Try to break that habit. You know, sometimes you can, or phones have the ability to limit the amount of time you spend in an app. So, you know, if you're going through Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you know, set it to 3 minutes a day, and then it'll just force you out. You're going to have to jump through hoops to get it back online if you really want it. You know, and studies have also shown that people that have disconnected from their phones, taken a week off of just everything on the phone, maybe they check news on the computer or something, they just feel better. You know, I'm not a big social media person. You're watching me or listening to me on social media or possibly my radio show, but I don't really spend time on social media interacting and whatnot. I get news off of my phone, you know, because I'm connected to the world in terms of, you know, I have clients all over the planet. I follow the news, whether it's political or otherwise, around the world. But other than that, I don't go for the hyperbole. So think about it that way. But I would take some time off of your phone and lower your screen time, because quite frankly, when we're scrolling 86 to 115 miles every single year, give our thumbs a rest, man. That's all I'm saying. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at Nick AESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private, informed, and secure. Take care.